that you are adding a new station or going on to another station. Could you tell us the different stations that hold that program at the Packer games?
Well, Joanne, you're talking about Jesse's mailbag program after Packer games. And this year, we're going to be on WNFL, which is 1440. That's your sports station in Green Bay, and we'll be on with other stations too, but Fond du Lac and Wausau. But this year, we'll be on at WNFL. That's the radio station that carries the Packer broadcast.
I see, and that's when you change your hat from Spice King to the Sports Authority, right?
Yeah, change hats.
And speaking of hats, I have a lovely picture here, and it has Darling Twin Boys on it, and they also have hats. And it says on the hats, I love Spice King Jim Ford. What is all this about?
Well, you got that picture up there. We want that picture up there for several seconds. The reason why, these fine-looking young men, the twin boys, a couple of years ago, I was making a personal appearance at the Red Owl Food Store, either at Escanaba, Michigan, or Iron Mountain. And these two young men came over to me and they asked for an autograph. And we took their pictures. And some reason or other, their parents walked away. We didn't realize that they were gone. And here we got their picture. We like to know who the parents are. We like to send a picture of those fine-looking young men. They're both twin boys, very handsome-looking young men.
They are, and I hope they write in so we can find out who they are. And I'd also like to ask you about hot foods. Sometimes when you're tasting food, cooking in the stove, or just eating food, and sometimes it's hot to touch with the tongue, sometimes you burn your tongue. Now, a while back, you had mentioned something that there was a recipe for, or not a recipe, but a remedy for this type of situation.
Well, I'd given a talk in the island of Maui and also Honolulu, and that night I was out having dinner there, and the food got a little hot, and they grabbed a glass of water, and there was a doctor sitting right next to me, and he had heard the talk, and he was from Seattle, and he said, I'll give you a good tip, Spice King. I didn't even know him, but he was watching or listening to my program there, and he said, never a glass of water or liquid. He said, always a piece of bread or a roll or a piece of cheese.
Oh.
I didn't know who he was, and after he left, somebody said, there's a big medical man out west, and he gave quite a tip. He said, there's a good tip for you. But you know, right after that, the soup was hot. Here I grab a glass of water. He says, no, a piece of bread or a roll or a piece of cheese.
I think we all have the tendency to grab that glass of water. That's great to know. Now, could you tell me if black pepper has a shelf life?
Well, that's a good question, Joanne. That was brought up many times. Now, peppercorns, that's the one you use in your pepper grinders. They're 100 years old. They'll last that long. They've had records to show that peppercorns last that long. But your black pepper on the shelf, the regular black pepper in the can, at least 4 years.
Is that right?
Shelf life.
Great. That's good to know, especially up at cottage time. Now, I have bought many frozen foods, and they seem so tasteless to me. Is there a reason for that?
Well, your marketing people, Joanne, better take a hard look on the seasoning of that food, because the taste of the human being, of the person nowadays, have changed. It's a new ballpark as far as taste buds are concerned. And I think they're very tasteless. These marketers of these frozen food companies, they better take a hard look, because there's got to be more spices.
And what's in the mailbag today?
Well, there's a Bobby McDonald fan club at Chodors, Choudors, and Doc at Brussels. That's Barb and Elle, Stella, Harold and Joyce, Tom and Sally, Arno and Maureen, Ken Liley, Paul and Mike and Dorothy, Humphrey, the Pool Shark, Mark, Miller, Destry, Norbert and Estra, Nancy Shoder from Neymar, at Connor's Tavern and Hotel Lakewood, at Cy and Audrey, the McDonald Junction Mountain, that's Bernie Lamel, Sheila, John McDonald, and of course there's Les, and Bud and Goose. That's quite a name. There's some other names are Mrs. Walter Drews at Nina, Mrs. Fred Byer at New London, Mrs. Roy Fritz at Peshtigo, Mrs. H.F. Sandom at De Pere, Wisconsin, Carol Dvorak at Sturgeon Bay, Mr. and Mrs. Earl Laban at Brookfield, Wisconsin, Charlie Wolf on North Prospect, Milwaukee says hi to Green Bay, and also we have Bob and Dorothy Spencer at Oconomowoc, Art and Jenny Bramall in Madison, and also the gang at Pollock's at Vulcan, Michigan. That's Jesse Pollock. And then one more last name is Ted and Linda Getz at Kingsford, Michigan.
And I don't know if you're getting the drift, but it sure smells good over here. I'm going to check to see how Bobby's doing with his fish. Oh, does that look luscious?
Well, I think she's just about ready for sampling, Jamel.
Oh, it sounds great.
She's tender to the fork. Got right off there.
Okay, and I see that we have some famous sauce here.
Durkee's famous sauce.
And what can we do with this?
We can put that right over the top of the fish.
As a tartar sauce.
As a tartar sauce.
Great.
Spread her out and let her just kind of settle down on there. It'll kind of melt in, and it makes an excellent
tartar sauce. Okay, and we started with, this time it was Spice King Jim Ford's trout, and we can use either salmon, cod, halibut, any type of fish that you prefer.
Right.
And then you made a base, and you want to tell us what was in the base?
Well, in the butter we melted garlic powder and chopped onions, parsley flakes, thyme, tarragon, mace, nutmeg, salt and pepper, and on top of that we put a little paprika.
It looks just luscious. And with that, then you added breadcrumbs, and then we made kind of a dressing on top. And to top that off, we used the famous Durkee sauce, and we use that as a tartar sauce, so it just looks all lovely. You've served it with a baked potato, and I suppose we could put some herbal butter on that, and makes a luscious dinner over the grill.
Right.
I'm glad that you could join us today, and we'll be back another time with Spice King Jim Ford and many interesting things happening on Durkee's Backyard Barbecue. Bye now. Thanks for joining.
For recipes and spice tips, write to Spice King Jim Ford, Durkee's Mailbag, WBAY-TV, 115 South Jefferson, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54301. That's Spice King Jim Ford, Durkee's Mailbag, WBAY-TV, 115 South Jefferson, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54301. This has been Spice King Jim Ford's Durkee's Backyard Barbecue. Your chef has been Bob McDonald, with hostess Joanne Jamel Olson and Spice and Olive King Jim Ford. Brought to you by Durkee's famous spices, sauces, olives, and gravy mixes. Voted #1 in Packerland.
You're watching 18.
Tonight on Packer Pregame 84, we'll take a look at the rebuilding of a Packer defense.
I'm going to speak positively because that's the first thing we told the defensive team. Anymore, no negative talking. We don't want to hear what happened last year.
We'll meet the Packer offensive coaches, and we'll meet the lady who calls Forrest Gregg her husband.
I think I would want to play for him if I was a player, because he does not have favorites, or if he does, he doesn't show it, and the fairness, I think, is the most important thing for a player.
And we'll also have a musical tribute to the Packers' new head coach. The Forrest Gregg era begins tonight in Texas Stadium. This is Packer Pregame 84.
Packer Pregame 84 is brought to you in part by the Pabst Brewing Company, brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place. Toyota, the reliable and inexpensive Tercel 3-door SR5, now at your local Toyota dealer. Quaker State, today you need a motor oil this good. Your neighborhood True Value hardware stores. And by Seal Tight, the beautiful insulating third window.
It's right, it's good, it's here. Pabst is the place. Pabst is the place. For the real taste of beer and all the good times you have here.
Other beers say they're full body. Pabst is.
Pabst is the place. Drinks all around. Pabst is the place.
Sure doesn't leave you thirsty.
For the real taste of beer. Pabst is the place.
Now, what'll you have?
We've got what it takes. True Value.
Save now on their bargain of the month. In August, it's this True Value 32-gallon trash can, just $8.88. This seamless polyethylene can is strong enough to withstand rough handling and features a tight-fitting lid. During August, get a True Value 32-gallon trash can for just $8.88. Look for the Bargain of the Month banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joe Schmidt. Welcome to Packer Pregame 84. 1/2 hour from now, the Green Bay Packers will start the 1984 preseason against the Dallas Cowboys from Texas Stadium in Irving. You know, since Forrest Gregg took over as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, he's been talking about improving the Packer defense. Last year, the Packers ranked 28th out of the 28 teams in the NFL on defense. They can't get much worse. The Green Bay Packers were on a lot of NFL highlight films this past year. Scoring points against the Packers last season became habit-forming. The Packers allowed a team record 439 points. Injuries and the defection of Mike Butler had a lot to do with the demise of the Big D. The man in charge of rebuilding that defense is Dick Modzelewski, the Packers defensive coordinator.
I'm going to speak positively because that's the first thing we told the defensive team. Anymore, no negative talking. We don't want to hear what happened last year. And all we're thinking right now is being positive, every one of them. And the feeling I get from our defensive team that the attitude is great. They want to learn. I can't say one guy, not one guy on the whole defensive team has slacked off in his work. They're all hustling pretty good. And I really feel that they have a great positive attitude about them. And I think we're going to improve. I really do, because of the players themselves.
The rebuilding program starts in the trenches. The Packers' top 2 draft choices were defensive linemen, Alfonso Carricker of Florida State and Donnie Humphrey of Auburn. Both have the qualities the coaches like in their defensive players. They're both big, and they're both tough. Another key to the defensive line will be the health of Ezra Johnson. Ezra had back surgery 4 months ago, and the comeback will be slow. But Ezra says he'll be back, and so will the defense.
We will not be in the same predicament and situation that we were as a defensive unit last year. You know, the only place we can go is up, and everybody wants to do that, and that's where we're headed. You know, we got guys flying around. We have a new system, you know, which we're a lot more aggressive now, and I think it's going to work out real well for us. So, you know, we will not be at the bottom this year. I can guarantee you that.
The center of Green Bay's defensive problems last year was at the nose tackle position. Terry Jones and Rich Turner went down early in the season, but both are back up fighting for a starting spot in 1984.
Oh, that'll always be a great battle. It come out the camp, I just bring the best out of me. So me and Rich been hitting there the last 4 or 5 years trying to win that starting position, but both of us still share a lot of time, playing time together in the game.
If the line improves, it has to help the linebackers. With the new Packer defense, teamwork is more essential than ever.
I think all defenses are predicated on teamwork. Certainly ours is. Some of the things that we're trying to do depends on the line and the defensive line, the linebackers, and the secondary. So it's a team defense, and everything's coordinated that we get what we want out of these players. So when we're teaching it, we teach it as a team defense, not just the defensive line and linebackers. We include the secondary, too.
Patera has a lot of talent to work with in the linebacking core. John Anderson and Mike Douglas are outside linebackers with all-pro potential. Randy Scott and George Cumbie are good movement linebackers in the middle. The biggest battles here appear to be for backup spots. 4th-round draft choice John Dorsey may be tough to keep out of the lineup as the season progresses. The new defensive scheme, the 2-gap defense, relies heavily on linebackers to be active. The backers like that idea.
Well, basically, our whole defense has changed. Our whole philosophy is different. We're playing more of an aggressive game now than we did in the past. Everything is attack. And I think it's more conducive to the type of players we have. You know, I hate to just sit on the line and wait for plays. I'd rather go get things and make things happen. And I'm getting a chance this year to do that. So I think it's going to be more enjoyable from my standpoint and other players, too.
The key word in the secondary this year is aggressiveness.
Yes, I like aggressiveness, and that's the key to football. If you're aggressive, you make things happen. If you're passive, good things don't happen to you. So if you go out and just play football, you're going to make some little mistakes sometimes, but physically, you know, that's going to happen. But if you're aggressive and you go out and you make those little mistakes, then it's not as bad as being passive.
The biggest question in the secondary is at free safety. With Mike McCoy out for the season, it looks like rookie Tom Flynn has the job nailed down.
I was just concerned about coming up here and making a team, and so far things have worked out pretty pretty well for me, and I'm just happy with the situation that I'm in. But as far as being a starter, we still got a long way, and there's a lot of things that can happen between now and September. So, I'm just going to try and take it one day at a time. Well, I'm confident that I can play. Whether or not I hold a position down is up to the coach, and it's just a matter of me playing to my best ability every day, and trying to get consistent.
The biggest battle in the secondary this year is at strong safety. Veterans Mark Murphy and Johnny Gray are in a dogfight for the starting spot here.
I'm looking for somebody who can support, who can come up and really stuff people. And I think we have that in Johnny Gray and Mark Murphy. And we also have a young kid by the name of Derek Jones from the University of Georgia who's doing an excellent job for us also. So I think our cornerback position, our strong safety position is pretty sound.
Coach Riley feels the Packer cornerbacks have all-pro potential. Tim Lewis made some rookie mistakes last year, but he also showed he belongs in the NFL. Mark Lee was inconsistent. That's something the new Packer coaching staff will not tolerate. The Packers found out last year that the best offense in the world does not win you titles. The defense must be better, more consistent, and more aggressive for the Packers to win more in '84.
There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place.
Believe it or not, there's finally joy in Mudville. Introducing the 1984 Toyota Tercel.
There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face.
This front-wheel drive Tercel will get you where you're going with more room inside than any other subcompact. The new Toyota Tercel, Toyota's lowest priced car.
And finally, there is joy in Mudville.
Back to school time is here, and you'll find great savings for everyone at Mills Fleet Farm. Like Lee jeans for the entire family. Men's 14-ounce 100% cotton jeans are just $13.99, and Lee backpacks are only 99 cents. You'll find great savings on Murray bikes, too, just $69.95 for this 20-inch BMX bicycle. And for great-looking hair, Mills Fleet Farm has the Chic 1200-watt compact dryer, just $349 after rebate. You'll find these values and more during our back-to-school savings sale on now at Mills Fleet Farm.
Welcome back to Packer Pregame '84. While the Packer defense will be making some drastic changes this year, the Packer offense won't change that much. You don't mess with success. That's one reason Forrest Gregg retained offensive coordinator Bob Schnelker and receivers coach Lou Carpenter. But there are a couple of new faces on that offensive staff. Bill Jarch takes a look at the men behind the big O.
It's hard to imagine a defensive scheme the Packer offensive assistant coaches haven't seen. The four men, Bob Schnelker, Lou Carpenter, Jerry Wampler, and George Sefcik, have 63 years of NFL coaching experience between them. Experience Forrest Gregg sought when he set out to mold his staff. There are two new faces among the offensive coaches. George Sefcik was the first member to be named to the staff this year. One of Gregg's aides at Cleveland and Cincinnati, Sefcik is in charge of the running backs.
I'd like to stress technique. I think blocking techniques, techniques of running pass patterns, just try to improve it and get them down to where they're refined, and we all know what everybody else is thinking, and especially in the running game. Head position means so much. If you're going to run a sweep, the position of the blocker's head is vitally important in telling the ball carrier where to run and also influencing the defense.
Sefcik won't have a Pete Johnson type to rely on this year, but he still feels confident and excited about his new job.
Coach, is your job one that you describe as a difficult one?
No, I don't think it's difficult. If it was difficult, I might not like it and might not be around as long as I have. I've been in professional football for 12 years and college for 10, so you're talking 22 years of it. I love it. I enjoy it. I think this is the most fun when you're on the field and working with the players, and, of course, game day. Some of the time in the off-season is kind of boring and dull, but this is what you live for.
6-1. Say it. Up. Set. Foot to foot, Larry.
The most animated of the assistants on O has to be offensive line coach Jerry Wampler, a Philadelphia Eagles assistant the past 5 years. He's coaching a position his boss knows a lot about, but Wampler isn't feeling any pressure from above.
It would seem that way because Forrest being a great player and of course he coached the offensive line. I don't feel uncomfortable at all. I don't worry about having to look over my shoulder to see if I'm satisfying my boss. He wants us to go work, and there's a comfort zone in there where we all have a little bit of individuality in the way we coach, the approach to it and so forth, and it's all tied in with the master plan.
Wampler likes big offensive linemen who can execute zone blocking techniques. He dislikes some of the misconceptions about those men.
One of our pet peeves in dealing with the offensive line, it bugs me and it bugs our offensive linemen, is that people are always saying you have that offensive line personality. And supposedly that you're laid back and so forth and not real aggressive and that type of thing. And we kind of laugh about that because all we hear are the moans and groans from defense about all the bad things we're doing. We're supposed to be the nice guys.
The two holdovers from Bart Starr's staff are offensive coordinator Bob Schnelker and receiver coach Lou Carpenter, two of the masterminds behind the Packers' high-powered aerial attack last year. Under Schnelker's direction, Green Bay finished second in the league in total offense a year ago. The Packers set club records for passing yardage with over 4,300 yards and total points, 429. A man who loves the passing game, Schnelker doesn't plan to change his approach to things under his new head coach.
You know, he named me as a coordinator, and he's let me do things, but with his approval. You know, I always check with him to make sure it's with his approval, and that's the way it's worked out, and, you know, it's working like it has in the past. It's not a whole lot of difference because we haven't done much with the offense as far as any changes, and I've been around Forrest before and worked around him, so really, I don't think there's been any change for me.
Schnelker has now served under 5 head coaches during his years in Green Bay. It began with Vince Lombardi in 1966. And Schnelker hopes the success he experienced during his early years here returns very soon.
I like it here. You know, I've been here before. This will be my 10th year here, so you learn to like this town. It's a nice town, and I think the town's improving, and now hopefully our football team will improve with it.
Lou Carpenter has become a fixture in Green Bay. He returned to the site of his playing days when Bart Starr made him part of his staff back in 1975. Like Schnelker, Carpenter plans on sticking with his familiar style of coaching.
Forrest, I think he has a lot of faith in the passing game, and he hasn't told me anything how to do it, so I'm continuing the same way I've always taught it.
In James Lofton, John Jefferson, and Paul Kaufman, Carpenter may have the best talent in the league to work with. Some people might think he's spoiled, but Lou remembers a time when things weren't so rosy.
Having guys like that does make your job easy because you can't kid yourself. I mean, I'll take great player to be a poor coach, and instead of being a great coach, if you want to say a guy is a great coach, and have poor players. So I'll go the way we are now, and I love it.
Making a dramatic improvement on last year's offensive stats could be tough for this staff, but these 4 men will try their best to do just that. Bill Jartz for Packer Pregame 84.
What's in for fall? The new Sears catalog.
Look what's in.
Yes, this is Sears catalog with new fashions, oversized coats in pure wool, luscious silks, and cool leathers.
Look what's in.
Behind Cheryl's pretty smile, you'll find names America loves: Kenmore, Die Hard, Craftsman.
Great! And by looking in Sears catalog before I shop, I save a lot of time.
Use it to compare prices, too. Look for the special pages of favorite items at no lower price this season. And how about this for a bonus? Our new 32-page Get Fit section. Shape up with some of the best names in the business. Get your copy at the nearest Sears store or save a trip and call toll-free. For only $4 plus tax, Sears will rush you a copy of the catalog plus a $4 merchandise certificate, good on any Sears purchase of $20 or more. It's almost like getting the catalog free.
There's more going on in your life at Sears.
Welcome back to Packer Pregame 84. The next lady you're about to meet would have to be considered the first lady of Green Bay Packer football. She's been married to the new Packer head coach for over the past 20 years. Ken Kraus introduces us to Barbara Gregg.
She loves being a housewife, decorating, knitting. She enjoys exercising and working for charities. But it's hard to talk with Barbara Gregg and not have her favorite subject come up, her husband. Although she admits she is an average fan when it comes to football, she is an expert when it comes to Forrest. It all started 24 years ago when they met and were married 8 months later.
Oh, I thought that was something he did on Sunday, and I didn't think much about that. I thought that might be kind of just an extra thing to do. I didn't think that was too great, but someone filled me and said it was a pretty, and they showed me all his clippings, and so I did a scrapbook, and I started liking it.
Since that time, Forrest Gregg has established a reputation as one of the finest coaches in the NFL. He has been described as a disciplinarian on the field. What about off the field?
If he was that tough with me, we wouldn't be married. He's a great husband and different from the football field. But he says I'm not coachable. I couldn't play for him, but he is a really good father and husband. Not that football image at all.
Does he take his job home with him?
Well, he's a little different in the football season. But I understand, you know, after all these years, I understand that. And I know, I guess that's my learning, you know, I know how to act to that. But he doesn't take it home a lot. He sleeps at night.
If you could describe him as a coach, how would you describe him?
I couldn't play for him. He's tough. No, but he is really fair. I think I would want to play for him if I was a player, because he does not have favorites. You know, he's himself. He never tries to be like Vince, but he learned a lot from him. And I think I see some comparison there. Maybe he doesn't see it. He's himself. But I think he's a little more like him than he thinks.
Despite the time demands of a football season, the Greggs try to spend as much time together as possible.
Well, I understand that, for I don't know why, but it's never been a problem. It's his job. It's important. And I see him at night. When he's home, when he has time, he comes home. And I know that, so I understand it. I go watch practice. We don't like to ever be apart, not 2 days or 3. We really enjoy each other's company.
Football is a transient business. It has taken Forrest and Barbara through 6 changes of scenery, from Texas to Green Bay, where Forrest played, to Dallas as a player-coach, and as a coach to Toronto, Cleveland, Cincinnati, and now back to Green Bay.
Well, he's the same coach each place, and he adjusted really well from playing to coaching, which was good. Doesn't happen all the time. But he's the same coach then that he is. He's learned a lot, you know, coaches do, but he is the same coach.
How does it feel coming back to Green Bay?
Oh, it's kind of like a dream come true. I love it. I have all the friends, and I really like it. I've enjoyed all the moves. I like all the places we've been. I think it teaches you a lot about life and football.
Coming back to Green Bay, how's it changed?
Well, it's grown. It's great. I like it. More shopping. The people are still the same good people, though. Our daughter was born here, and she's really proud to say I've always liked it. It's from here, and our son would like to move back here. It's a good state.
You like being the head coach's wife and getting all of the attention and so forth?
I don't think I don't need attention. That's never, I guess I get enough attention from my husband, and I care enough about myself. I understand the attention, and I like people. I like to talk to people, but I don't need the attention. That would be the thing I'd least like about the job, would be more privacy.
If she could do it all over again, Barbara Gregg wouldn't change a thing. She does have a wish for the future, however.
Oh, I dream for the Super Bowl like we've had it. Just, that's the thing. You know, whatever he wants, I want, and I like football, I like to win.
And so another legacy begins in Green Bay. Hopefully that winning starts tonight against Dallas. Ken Kraus for Packer Pregame 84.
Say goodbye to America's favorite can of motor oil. That Quaker State quality America has trusted for over 70 years now comes exclusively in this unique, easy-to-pour plastic bottle, made to cost you nothing extra. So long, spouts. See you, dirty hands. Goodbye, oily rags.
No more leaky cans.
Get Quaker State's pen-grade protection and no mess. Easy to open, pour, and reseal. Today, you need an oil this good in a package this good.
Stay warmer in winter, cooler in summer with custom-built, affordable Seal-Tight windows. Seal-Tight windows absolutely stop window drafts and energy loss. Seal-Tight's unique ball-joint fastener seals in airtight comfort, yet allows easy removal for cleaning and storage. Your existing windows become more airtight than replacement windows at about 10% of the cost. Seal-Tight add-on windows, comfort and savings in a snap. For your authorized dealer, call 1-800-242-2995.
Forrest Gregg returns home to Green Bay. As a player in Green Bay for 15 years, Forrest Gregg starred in the offensive line. He accomplished about everything an offensive lineman can accomplish in that time. He was an All-Pro 8 times. He's a member of the NFL Hall of Fame and the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame. As a coach, he led the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl. Now he's trying to do the same with the Green Bay Packers. Welcome back, Forrest Gregg.
We did not take this job to field a losing football team. We took this job to field a winning football team.
Now, technology.
So, you're considering more life insurance?
Uh-huh. In fact, a Northwestern Mutual agent showed us this industry rating.
You've talked to the Quiet Company.
Mm-hmm. And Northwestern Mutual was rated #1 for low-cost whole life insurance.
Superior performance from Northwestern Mutual Life, the Quiet Company. We're proud to call Milwaukee home and happy to be bringing you the telecast of the 1984 Summer Olympics.
Today, a car's a big investment, new or used. And with our weather, it takes the best rust proofing to make it last. So I insist on Tough Coat penetrating rust proofing. It sure makes my cars last.
The Penetrator. Tough Coat penetrating rust proofing penetrates through rust that's already started in older cars, penetrates into seams or rust starts in new cars, and stops it.
Now, Tough Coat will rust-proof any passenger car for just $175. Yes, complete rust-proofing for just $175. Call Tough Coat today.
Preseason. You know, it's a homecoming of sorts for Forrest Gregg. He ended his playing career and started his coaching career in Dallas. He was born in Texas, played his college football at SMU. In 1956, the Green Bay Packers selected Forrest Gregg in the second round, and the rest is history. Well, a bit of history tonight as Forrest Gregg takes the field for the first time as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Thank you very much for joining us today. Stay tuned for the kickoff of the Packer-Cowboy game.
Packer Pregame 84 has been brought to you in part by the Pabst Brewing Company, brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place. Toyota, the reliable and inexpensive Tercel 3-door SR5, now at your local Toyota dealer. Quaker State, today you need a motor oil this good. Your neighborhood True Value Hardware stores. And by Seal-Tight, the beautiful insulating third window.
One weekend a month, you can take off for the beach, the mountains, or a drive in the country in the Army Reserve.
Subject spotted. Be all that you can be.
It's no picnic, but it's the kind of excitement no other weekend offers.
Mission completed. We're heading home.
And you'll still have 3 weekends a month to take off on your own.
You can do it in the Army Reserve.
The graveyard of chainsaws. Some with names you'd recognize, others are unknown. But in this world of broken promises, there is hope. Steel, tough, dependable, built to survive. With steel, you get what you pay for. With chainsaws going under every day, you can save yourself a lot of grief and get a steal.
Get a great deal on a steal at Eater, the Garden of Eater, 5300 Highway K in Franksville. That's Eater, the Garden of Eater.
Imagine this sturdy 6-drawer dresser, stained and lacquered finished, only $39.99. That's right, a 50% savings off Groundwater's already low price. Deep, wide drawers, 6 of them hold extra pillows, blankets, and king-size storage right beneath your bed to save on floor space. Only $39.99 right now with any Groundwater waterbed from over 1,000 beds in stock. Each with mattress, heater, liner, pedestal, and deck. Plus 6-drawer dresser for only $39.99. Dressers for all size beds, super, single, queen, or king.
West Bend, Janesville, Kenosha, and Menominee Falls.
Hi, we're the Baileys. Why not enjoy this summer in a park near you?
A wired hookup with Frank Zappa. Hello?
Tonight, that NFL Hall of Famer takes the field for the Packers as their new head coach. The Forrest Gregg era begins tonight in Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas. Forrest Gregg becomes the 9th head coach in Packer history. He would like to become the 2nd head coach to lead the Packers to the Super Bowl. Welcome to Packer preseason football. Today, the Packers take on the Cowboys from Texas Stadium in Irving. And I'm Joe Schmidt along with Paul Horning. We're back once again for another year. Great to have you back, Paul.
It's good to be back, and I'm very anxious, I guess, as is everyone in Packerland, to see the start of a new era, the Forrest Gregg era. I think Forrest is happy to be back. This is where he wants to be. And if he could take the Packers to a Super Bowl like he did Cincinnati, everybody will be happy.
Paul, a lot of people talked about another Packer legend being the head coach. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we're going to get into that a little bit later. We've got 4 weeks to really talk about it, Joe. This is a big game for Dallas, too, down here, of course. We're going to be going up against the Olympics, so to speak, but not back in Packerland. This is #1 back there. And Forrest has got a lot of people to look at. It's been a very important training camp for him. I think he's just about now getting the feel of the players, Joe. So now is the action time. And Forrest is going to be looking at a lot of people tonight. Eddie Lee is going to get the starting nod tonight. I'm very anxious to see what good a shape Eddie Lee has kept himself in and whether he's got that running fever back.
Forrest Gregg has had a tough training camp. He likes his team tough.
He sure does. And I think it's a little bit different. You know, there was a rap on Bart that maybe he was a little bit too easy on the players. I really don't know that. I wasn't around the ball players in the practice. Bart was a good guy, a great coach. It just so happened that the 8 years that he spent at Green Bay, they didn't win. And it was time to move on. It was time to move on to another Packer great, so to speak, in Forrest Gregg. Forrest Gregg, probably the greatest offensive lineman, in my estimation, that ever lived. And I just hope that he can continue on to be a great coach. He has been at Cincinnati.
Should be a great game tonight. The beginning of the Forrest Gregg era. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Green Bay Packer football is brought to you in part by the Pabst Brewing Company, brewers of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. For the real taste of beer, Pabst is the place. Toyota, the reliable and inexpensive Tercel 3-door SR5, now at your local Toyota dealer. Quaker State, today you need a motor oil this good. Your neighborhood True Value hardware stores. And by Seal Tight, the beautiful insulating third window.
Ever notice how light beers tend to be pale imitations of the big brothers they were named after? When it comes to taste, there's just something missing. That's why you should get your hands on a Jacob Best Premium Light. Jacob Best is brewed to be a light beer from the start. Brewed with choice Cascade hops to create the best light beer you've ever tasted. So why drink somebody else's when you could be drinking the best? Light beer drinkers who know better know best.
Get the help of a professional team to paint your home with a Wagner Power Painter Kit from True Value hardware stores. These airless painters spray large and intricate areas fast to quickly cover a house, garage, or fence. Get the 14-piece Pro Duty Power Painter designed for extensive use and long life, just $129.99. Or choose from smaller Wagner airless painters starting at $79.99 from participating True Value hardware stores.
We've got a beautiful night for football in Texas Stadium. 80 degrees, a threat of a thunderstorm a little bit later on. It's kind of humid, and Paul, I'm really anxious to see how this team looks under Forrest Gregg.
Well, it's going to probably look a little bit different. If you followed Forrest at all when he was at Cincinnati, He'll use a three-man front on defensively, 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers, and of course the Packer people have been looking at that defense for a long time. Then on passing situations, Forrester going to a nickel defense, 4 down linemen. And that's where I guess we're going to see Alfonso Carricker as fast as we can. I guess he's going to be in there right away.
He's coming off a little knee problem he had earlier in training camp. He's not 100%, but they do want to get a look at him. They feel they need to get as much experience, as much playing time during the preseason as they can for Alfonso Carricker. There's a good chance he'll be the starter on opening day. The defense, Paul, is the big question for the Packers this year. Last year, they ranked 28th out of the 28 teams in the NFL.
Well, of course, they could always put points on the board. Lynn Dickey has had some outstanding years throwing the football. And Eddie Lee Avery, of course, with these problems in these first couple of years, physical. And then, of course, with these problems with drugs last year, it's going to be interesting to see how he performs tonight. It'll also be interesting to see the Dallas Cowboys. They've got a few problems. They can't find Randy White to sign him. He wants so much money, I don't think they know where he is. I understand he wants $800,000. He didn't really have that great a year last year at defensive tackle. A perennial all-pro with the Dallas Cowboys. They can't find him to sign, and they've got that quarterback problem themselves with Danny White and Gary Hogeboom. The fans down here I don't think they want Danny White to be the starter. They want Hogeboom, and I think it's going to be White, though.
I believe it'd be White, too. Everybody seems to be leaning towards White, including Tom Landry. We are set for the kick. The Cowboys won the toss. They've elected to receive, and Eddie Garcia kicks it deep all the way down to the end zone, picked up by Ron Fellows. And Fellows finds some opening room up past the 30-yard line. He almost broke it. And, of course, this is one area the Packers do want to improve on this year is the area of special teams.
But it was a good kickoff by Eddie Garcia from the 35-yard line, 67 yards on that kick. And I tell you, Forrest likes that. Anytime the kicker puts it in the end zone, there's Eddie Garcia. He was in on the tackle over there. The former all-league kicker right here, hometown SMU.
Boy, I imagine they don't like to see Eddie go down there and tackle the running backs. Eddie's not that big, and there's only one other kicker in camp for the Packers, and that's Sanchez, and he's hurt right now.
Garcia will learn that the longer he plays, further away from all that action.
Danny White will be
the best spot to be.
Danny White will be the starting quarterback tonight for the Cowboys. He'll play the first half. We'll see Gary Hogeboom in the second half. First down, 10 to go. The ball on the 32-yard line for the Dallas Cowboys. The Packers in their 3-4 defense. Tony Dorsett along with, there's Tony with the ball. He gets the first handoff, picks up a couple of yards. Tony Dorsett is in the backfield tonight along with Ron Springs.
We're talking about money. If they give Randy White $800,000, I don't know what they'd give that young man right there, number 33. He'd worth at least double it.
Well, right now he makes about $400,000, so I'm sure his agent's taking a look at it. Pick up with 2 yards on the play. Packers, of course, starting one rookie in the defense tonight, and that's Tom Flynn at free safety.
He's been the hit of camp, hasn't he, Joe?
He's been one of the big ones. It's a delay to Tony Dorsett, and he finds the going tough up the middle, tackled by George Cumby.
Well, the Packers, of course, got 4 very fine linebackers in Anderson, Scott, Cumby, and Douglas. Well, they're in that 3-4 now, especially on first down situations, running downs. And I don't think there's too many teams got 4 better linebackers. Joe, the problem is we've got to keep them all healthy.
That's for sure. Cumby, of course, was nicked up last year. Scott missed a lot of playing time. He went down with a knee injury. And they're going into a shotgun formation. The Packers have a 4-man line, and they are showing blitz. And this is exactly what you said they were going to do, Paul.
They'll come out of it.
Danny White throws it, has his man, and there's a fumble. The Packers will recover. The ball is live, and now it's blown dead.
Going to be ruled incomplete.
Went to Doug Donnelly, and it looked like he might have had the ball long enough, but then they ruled it incomplete after he fumbled.
They ruled it incomplete. You're going to see Mark Lee, the 5-year pro at the University of Washington, the left cornerback over here. He comes up and gets a hold of the football. It's incomplete. Good hit there by the Packer defense. Lee would have had 6 points had they ruled that a completed pass and a fumble.
Tom Flynn was the man who forced the fumble. And that's what they like in Tom Flynn. He's a ball hawk back there. He has a nose for that football.
So the Packers start off right away the new season, Joe, with a good defensive series. Maybe that's a look at things to come.
Jim Miller, the punter for the Cowboys, all the way back to the 20-yard line, where it's picked up by Phil Epps, and Epps is out past the 30-yard line. First down for the Packers.
Nice return, shortest distance between 2 points, a straight line, and Epps got those 12 yards right back, a 45-yard punt.
Like you said, Paul, it was good to see that defense stop the Cowboys. They tried to run it twice and threw the ball. Last year, the Packers just really couldn't stop too many teams.
Well, Forrest said he was anxious to see the defense play against the Cowboys because they've been very, very tough against his own team in practices. And usually at a point in practice like this, early in the preseason, the defense way ahead of the offense.
The ball on the 34-yard line for the Packers. Lynn Dickey will be the starting quarterback tonight. We'll see Randy Wright later. Handoff up the middle to the second man through Eddie Lee Ivory, and he fumbles. And the Cowboys are signaling like they have the ball.
They do.
Ed Too Tall Jones, the man who recovers the fumble.
Ed Too Tall Jones.
And that's not a good start for Eddie Lee Ivory.
Anytime All-Pro, defensive left side. Let's pick it up again. Here it is, out of the eye. Eddie Lee Ivory tries to go straight ahead and get a little block by his fullback up front, Jesse Clark. He coughs up the football, and I think it was stripped, Joe. And Too Tall Jones has got it back for the Cowboys. They got it in excellent field position.
Eddie Lee Ivory has fumbled quite a bit during the preseason practices so far. He fumbled twice in the scrimmage last Saturday. The ball on the 33, Tony Dorsett, and he's inside the 30-yard line. Taken down by Cumbie and Douglas. Call the new Packer defense. They're playing what they call a two-gap defense, which basically you try to keep the linemen off the linebackers, and that might be a great defense for the Packers.
Well, anytime, especially against the run, if those three-down linemen can keep everybody off the linebackers, then you got a scoop. That's all I can tell you. The linebackers will have a field day if you keep all those offensive linemen away from blocking them.
Pick up a 4 yards on the last play by Dorsett. Second down, 6. This time White on play action. He has a man wide open. Doug Cosby, and Cosby is down inside the 5-yard line. The Pro Bowl tight end from the Dallas Cowboys almost broke it into the end zone.
He's a great one, the big tight end, Doug Cosby. And watch here, they pick up the blitz. The Packers blitz, and it was a good pickup by the Dallas offensive line. That meant man-to-man in the secondary, and Doug Cosby just hooked up, got inside the 5-yard line for a pickup of over 20 in the first down.
The ball just inside the 5-yard line, and the Dallas Cowboys are moving the ball after the fumble by Eddie Lee Ivory. We're in the first quarter, 11:50 remaining. The handoff. Tony Dorsett.
Good move by Dorsett, going for the end zone. He didn't get in. Or did he? He did get in.
I think he got in.
They're going to rule it a touchdown. He hit the pylon down there, and they thought he ruled him out of bounds, but it was a good run. Here comes the sweep to the right side. They tapped the linebacker, Anderson, and then it was Mark Lee, number 22, and there's, you can see Dorsett moving with his right hand. He put the ball across the plane. He broke the plane for 6 points. I tell you, he is one great back, Tony Dorsett.
Raphael Septien is in to do the kicking.
I think if you had to choose up sides, there wouldn't be too many people that you would take ahead of Tony Dorsett.
I can't think of any.
Just a sensational running back. He's in the top 5.
And the kick by Septien is good, and the Cowboys are off to a 7-0 lead over the Packers. Once again, the Cowboys showing that they can capitalize on a turnover.
Think year-round comfort means replacing those drafty windows. Your Seal-Tight dealer has great news. At 10% of the cost of replacement windows, Seal-Tight add-on windows boost your existing window efficiency by 100% and stop drafts. Seal-Tight is the quality custom-built window to fit any existing window. The key is Seal-Tight's patented ball joint fastener, which makes an airtight seal and snaps on and off. Look for Seal-Tight at fine hardware stores and home centers. For the name of your authorized dealer, call 1-800-242-2995.
Michelin, traction, handling, high mileage, retreadability, and fuel savings. Pumps can show you the Michelin fuel consumption tests and show you how Michelin radial truck tires help you save in the long run. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Our new location now offers you expanded services.
Pumps, the 24-hour tire professionals.
We are hoping that the rain will hold off here at Texas Stadium. Never could understand why they didn't cover up that hole there, Paul.
I haven't either. It's been a big mystery to everybody down here. They wanted to play outdoors. They wanted to play outdoors. I don't know why they wanted to put this AstroTurf on here, because it doesn't rain that much, although we did have just a light shower this afternoon. But they've got the AstroTurf. It's the only stadium in the country like it.
Raphael Septien will kick off. Darrell Jones and Harlan Huckleby are back deep for the Packers. And Septien puts it into the end zones. Darrell Jones will take it out. The rookie from Georgia gets up to the 15-yard line, maybe to the 16 before he's hauled down. Jones was drafted out of Georgia by the Packers. He's a defensive back playing at the free safety position, and he's got a good shot at making this ball club. Packers are very high on him. Well, now it's time to take a look at this offense. They had one play and the fumble. Lynn Dickey, Larry McCarron, the center, Drexler, Kitson, Cook, and Swanke across the front line.
It's usually pretty good to come right back and get that football to Eddie Liavre. He coughed it up in the first down and let him get into contact right away.
Jesse Clark powering his way up to the 20-yard line.
Eddie Lee blocking on the left side, helping out a little bit, sealing on the left side, as they call it. Jesse Clark picked up about 4 or 5.
And it looks like Forrest Gregg is shuffling in his plays with his fullbacks. Mike Mead brought the play in. He said he'll also use ends and tight ends to shuffle in plays. Gary Ellis is missing this game. He may play later tonight. He has a sprained ankle. They're keeping him out as a precautionary measure. JJ in motion. Pick up a 4 in the last play. Handoff once again up the middle. A couple of yards. Mike Mead with the ball. Former Penn State fullback. Mike did not play until his senior year. You take
another look at it. There goes Jefferson in motion just off the right side. They pulled the guard. He went to the outside. A little influence play. Didn't work too much. Going to bring up 3rd down, and they have all 3 wide receivers in. Phil Epps checks in. Kaufman goes out.
3rd and 5. They have to get the ball out to the 26-yard line. It looks like they may have drawn the Cowboys offside. The flag does go down, and Dickey has Jesse Clark, and Clark has some running room. He cuts back across the grain and is up near the midfield. Remember, a flag is down, but it did look like Dallas went offside.
Good cadence count that time by Lynn Dickey. Pulled him off sides. He had the 1st down, so he had to play for nothing. He had a free play, and he went to the outside, and a good running. Picked up 28 yards on it, so they'll take the play, of course, to move it all the way up to the 50-yard line. Now watch this. Watch this cadence count. You can see the Cowboys were caught a little off balance. They were off sides. Good pass protection. Dickey hits his man, cutting out to the left side. Clark, he got away from the linebacker here, and he got it all the way up to the 48-yard line. A pickup of 27 big ones.
Jesse Clark, a 2nd-year man out of Arkansas. He was drafted last year in the 7th round. Ended up being the number 2 rusher for the Packers last year in his rookie season. The ball's on the 49-yard line of the Packers. It goes back to Jesse Clark, and he gets up past the 50-yard line. One man cannot tackle Jesse Clark, Paul.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They had 3 of them over there. No blocking on the outside at all. And Clark just made 3 yards all by himself.
Jesse Clark has a case of turf toe. Did you ever have turf toe?
No, but it's very, very painful. I know a lot of people have had turf toe. Henry Childs, the 9-year pro who's back in action from Kansas State, played with the New Orleans Saints, checked in.
The ball now inside Dallas territory on the 49-yard line. JJ in motion once again. Dickey back to pass. Looking over the middle, and the ball is batted down and almost intercepted. John Dutton Looks like he got his hands on it. Maybe it was Jones. We'll take a look at it again.
All those defensive linemen there, very good size, 6'6", 6'7". Of course, there's one big defensive tackle. I think it was John Dutton. That's who it was, number 78. Defensive tackle John Dutton.
So it brings up a third down situation for Lynn Dickey, 3rd and 7.
Look at Jones. He's 6'9". Dutton 6'7".
Not much of a boxer.
6'5". No.
It looks like the Packers will get a freebie. Dickey under pressure. Jones and Lynn Dickey scrambling. Look out. And that is probably the first time Lynn Dickey has been tackled all training camp.
Anthony Dickerson, number 51, linebacker, putting a hit on him, too. There he is, Lynn Dickey. What a year he had last year.
Passed for over 4,000 yards, 32 touchdowns. Thing about Dickey in practice, no one touches Lynn Dickey when he goes back to pass.
14 years in the league. Here comes the replay. Now watch the defensive lineman. There he goes. That's Don Smirk. He's offsides. And Larry McCarron, the old veteran, he snaps it right away when he feels Don Smirk jump across that line of scrimmage. No matter what the snap count is, he's going to snap it, catch him offsides, and that enables Lynn Dickey to have that free play.
So instead of being 3rd and 7, it's 3rd and 2. The ball now on the 43-yard line of the Cowboys.
Eddie Lee Avery has not touched the football since he coughed it up on the very first offensive play. Like to see him get it here on 3rd down, make the first down, get a little confidence.
Looks like they're going to put it up. Dickey over the middle has Lofton, and Lofton dropped it right in his hands. And James Lofton, the all-pro receiver, well, he can do that during the preseason. He won't do that during the regular season.
Oh, and he had a little running room, too. He had beaten his defensive man back there, D. Clinkscale. Clinkscale was trying to cover him coming across the field, and it was a mismatch. I think if Lofton had held on, he would have got some extra added yardage.
Bucky Scribner in to punt for the Packers. The second-year man out of Kansas had a fine rookie season, hoping to improve this year. The left footer gets it up, trying to hit the coffin corner. And it looks like he nailed it. A nice kick inside the 10-yard line.
Beautiful kick.
They'll put it at the 6. I like to see it.
Nice punt. 36-yard punt. But look where it went out of bounds, at the 6.
The Cowboys will take over at the 6-yard line when we come back.
One of the new owners of Eastern Airlines.
One of my jobs is to make sure you have a nice, smooth ride. We at Eastern feel the atmosphere on the ground should be calm, too, especially when you're changing planes, so we fly into Kansas City instead of some big airport. You bypass all the turbulence, the crowds, the traffic, the long hikes. On my airline, we'll make sure your trip on the ground is as smooth as it is in the air.
Fly the only daily nonstop to Kansas City and connect to 12 western cities. At Eastern, we earn our wings every day.
Whoa, Lee, the water's hard again. Put some salt in the softener. Hurry up! I said the water's hard.
There's really no need for a bumped head. Not even a bad back. With your Culligan man delivering softening salt for your water conditioner, you'll have regular deliveries and the precise amount. Let your Culligan man put salt in its place. And the best part is the price.
The Packers have an opportunity now to hold the Cowboys deep in their own territory. They'll start out 1st and 10 from the 6-yard line, leading 7-0. 9:03 remaining in the first quarter from Texas Stadium. Joe Schmidt and Paul Horning bringing you all the action this preseason. And Danny White.
There's that famous movement at offensive line. They do a lot of shifting around the Cowboys, a lot of motion.
Ron Springs in motion. The handoff goes to Tony Dorsett. And TD gains a couple of yards, almost up to the 10-yard line. Dorsett's getting a workout today. There we see Forrest, Jim Laughlin in his way. It's kind of a strange sight watching him pace up and down the Packer sideline. We're so used to seeing Bart Starr there. Of course, you know that man. Tom Landry, the only coach the Dallas Cowboys have ever had in their 25 years.
Well, Forrest played a year for Landry down here.
Tony Dorsett is almost sacked by Mike Douglas. The pass comes up to Cosby, and Cosby drops it. Mike Douglas just about nailed Randy White. White dumped it off. Doug Cosby with the reception.
We're going to get a 12-yard pickup, a first down. It's very lucky they didn't get caught for a safety here. Mike Douglas will never have a better shot at a quarterback. Right there, he misses the tackle. Good movement by Danny White to get out of that sack. And then he gets a pass off to his big tight end that was almost intercepted itself. He was actually covered, and it was a good reception by Cosby, his second catch of the night.
Good play by Danny White, the veteran quarterback. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball on the 22-yard line, and the Cowboys are marching out of that bad territory they were in. The pass overthrown, almost picked off by Mark Lee.
Trying to go to Cosby.
Trying to get it out to Cosby, and Cosby seems to be running in a lot of slants, seems to be trying to split the zone.
Again, the Packers in a blitz. That time they picked up Douglas. Of course, the designated blitzer, of course, Mike Douglas, very quick, 6 foot, 214 pounds. He's led this team in tackles the last couple of years, hasn't he?
He sure has.
Two good outside linebackers the Packers have, and Douglas and Anderson.
Last year he missed one game and still led the team in tackles. Second down and 10 yards to go. Danny White will put it out. A lot of pressure on White once again. And it's Cosby once again. He beat John Anderson out past the midfield stripe. Tom Flynn jumps on the ball as it pops loose, but it will be the Cowboys' ball about the midfield stripe.
Yeah, Cosby showing the Packer defense a little something about how a good tight end reacts. Watch him pick it up. Here comes Douglas. 4-man rush against the pass. Right on the money this time with Danny White right over to the middle. Flynn makes a stop. Now, he fumbles the football here, folks, but that's not a fumble anymore in professional football. If you fumble the football because you hit the ground, because of contact with the turf, that is not a fumble. I don't know why. I think it should be. I think it should be the responsibility of the ball carrier or the receiver to hold on to the football when he hits the ground. But it is not a fumble.
The ball at the midfield stripe, and the Cowboys are driving. This drive started at their own 6-yard line. Tony Dorsett for a burst of 5 or 6. Coming up to support Tom Flynn, the rookie out of Pittsburgh. Paul, what do you think about starting a rookie at that free safety spot? Such an important spot in the secondary.
Well, Johnny Gray has manned it for a lot of years and done an excellent job for Green Bay. And Flynn, of course, a rookie out of Pittsburgh. Kind of a surprise. He's a good football player, I understand. I haven't seen too much of him. You know a little bit more about it. I noticed that maybe Ken Riley may be a great influence on some of these defensive secondary men. Riley, one of the best defenders ever in the National Football League, and I understand they're playing a lot better this year.
Ron Springs with the ball for the first time this evening, and he is very close to the first down.
And then Dick Haywood had a couple passes intercepted in practice, and somebody mentioned something about Dick and his interceptions in practice. He said, well, those defensive guys never covered that close before.
Ken Riley, of course, perennial All-Pro, is the defensive secondary coach this year for the Packers. And Forrest Gregg has assembled a very good coaching staff. He has a blend of youth with experience and a very enthusiastic coaching staff. Good teachers. It's third and very short. Less than a yard to go for the Cowboys. The handoff. Timmy Newsome, and Newsome has the first down as he cuts it to the outside. Ball now inside the 40. And the Cowboys are sustaining the kind of drive that we've seen happen to the Green Bay Packers before, especially
they really
last
have.
year,
And you go back and you look at that missed sack by Mike Douglas. It could have been possibly a fumble on a play like that where Danny White wasn't really particularly ready for a blitz like that, and Douglas missed him completely. And now they moved the ball all the way to the 40-yard line, so those little things do come back to haunt you sometimes.
Play action, and there's a flag down as White hits his receiver, and that's Doug Donnelly.
They're just picking apart that Packer defense. Flag down. It's going to go against the Cowboys holding. He's getting a lot of time to throw the football, too, and the passing attack is on rhythm. White looks sharp here for the first preseason game.
Of course, the Packers are starting a couple of new faces in the defensive line tonight. Greg Boyd is making his first start at left end.
The offense was holding, still first down.
The holding penalty was against tackle Jim Cooper. Terry Jones is starting at nose tackle after missing almost the entire season last year. He was injured on the first play of the first game against Houston. Tore his Achilles tendon. He was out the entire year, making a comeback now. And Robert Brown is starting at right end. Ezra Johnson still slowed down. He had back surgery 4 months ago, so Ezra is coming along slowly, and Robert Brown has stepped in. We will see the rookies later, Alfonso Carricker and Donnie Humphrey, the top 2 draft choices for the Packers. 1st and 20. And Danny White swings it out. He'll let Tony Dorsett move the ball. And he does, as Dorsett is very close to the first down.
Well, what great blocking on the screen to the right side. 65, right guard Kurt Peterson really cut down somebody, and they had some fine blocking. Watch this. Watch the guard move in here. There he is, 65 at the top of your screen. Watch his block. Here's Dorsett. Yeah, you saw the end of it. You saw the Packer go down. Finally pushed out of bounds over there by Tom Flynn.
Cumbie was the man who was leveled by that beautiful block. It's 2nd down. He did not quite get the first down. 2nd down, 2 yards to go.
Picked up 8 on that nice looking screen.
And there's some movement as Greg Boyd.
White 4 out of 6, Joe, for 81 yards here in the first quarter.
Encroachment.
Osby's 3 catches.
72 on the defense.
That's Greg Boyd offsides against the Pack. Well, Cosby's caught 3 for 63 passes.
Before the ball is snapped, it's first.
3 for 63 yards.
Well, he's trying to take advantage of his playing time and take the lead against Gary Hogaboom in that quarterback controversy brewing down here. I don't see what the people have against Danny White. Maybe he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet, but look how well the Cowboys did last year until the end of the season. They were 12-2.
Teams win, and they get used to winning. If you don't win at all, they're disappointed.
The handoff to Ron Springs, and Springs brings his way up very close to another first down.
So the Dallas machine has looked good here in the first quarter. Ron Springs now getting into the act.
Ron Springs in a battle for his starting job with Timmy Newsom. Was a pickup of 8 yards on the play. 3:54 remaining in the first quarter with the Cowboys leading 7-0, and they are knocking on the door once again. Just a gorgeous night for football here at Texas Stadium. The ball on the 16-yard line. Tony Dorsett, the only back in the backfield. And Tony Dorsett is the man with the ball. And he just follows his blockers so well, Paul.
He sets up the blockers too, Joe, and that's a thing that you just have to have that innate sense to know how to do that. I mean, he's just a natural runner. Watch this move here. Out of the eye, and he's so dangerous cutting back. Now watch this little stutter step, a little cut. Now he slashes back to the inside, and he's got 8 yards, and he just looked like he picked up 3 or 4. Finally stopped by Randy Scott.
I looked on the Packers sidelines, and Randy Wright was warming up before. Maybe we'll see Randy earlier than anticipated. We figured we'd see him sometime before the first half. Tony Dorsett trying to score his 2nd touchdown of the night, and he's swarmed by a flock of green jerseys. We're going to be seeing some new uniforms for the Packers this year, Paul, once the regular season starts. Not a big change, but you see the numbers on the Dallas pants. I don't know if they even have them anymore, but there are going to be numbers on the pants. They're going to have numbers on the sleeves and the jerseys. So they're going to jazz them up a little bit. 2nd down, 5 yards to go. They can get a first down.
This drive started at the 6-yard line. This is the 12th play in this offensive move.
Springs and Dorsett the backfield. On 2nd down, Donnelly in motion coming for the crack back block, and Dorsett takes a couple of yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd down situation.
Good defensive move over on the left side defensively for the Packers that time. Randy Scott, I think, the last one getting up.
Good to see Randy Scott back. Last year he missed much of the season after he had knee surgery early in the year, came back, started the end of the season.
Rich Turner checks in for one of the linebackers here. Cumbie goes out. Rich Turner, defensive lineman, in. They've got 5 down linemen now against this Dallas offense.
The ball's on the 4-yard line, 3rd down. And I think one of the Cowboys is offsides, and they didn't catch it. They swing it out to Fellows, and he's in. Make that Springs. Ron Springs with the touchdown. Beat Mark Murphy on the play. Murphy coming up from the strong safety position.
Well, there wasn't any help on the inside with Springs. Springs, no linebacker picking up Springs as he swings out of the set over here. Look, nobody's over there, and I don't know if that, look, there's a slip there by Mark Murphy, and he just walked in easy. But I don't know if that was Mark Murphy's responsibility then. Only the defensive coaches know that. Wasn't any help on the inside at all for Murphy.
See, it seems like there should have been a linebacker in there with support.
It seems like if Murphy had him man-to-man, he was way out of position, I can tell you that.
Raphael Septien in to try to make it 14-0 Cowboys. We're still in the first quarter, 1:17 remaining. And Septien's kick is up and through. The Dallas Cowboys have jumped out to a 14-point lead here in the first quarter. We'll be back with more football right after this timeout on the Packer Television Network.
At $698, $598, or $498, you'd get a good buy on a sofa sleeper. You'd get an even better buy if a sofa sleeper at those prices included a matching love seat. Well, during our expansion event at Calder's Furniture this week, you'll get the best sofa sleeper buy. This week, sofa sleepers at $698, $598, or $498 include a matching love seat and your choice of a recliner or 3 living room tables this week only at Calder's Furniture, West Dallas.
So, you're considering more life insurance?
Uh-huh. In fact, the Northwestern Mutual agent showed us this industry rating.
You've talked to the Quiet Company.
Mm-hmm. And Northwestern Mutual was rated #1 for low-cost whole life insurance.
Superior performance from Northwestern Mutual Life, the Quiet Company. We're proud to call Milwaukee home and happy to be bringing you the telecast of the 1984 Summer Olympics.
The last scoring drive by the Cowboys, 13 plays, 94 yards, and they ate up 7 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock. That's great ball control. Wendell Gladham, the former Wisconsin Badger, doing the kicking, and the ball goes once again to Darrell Jones, and Jones takes it right up the gut, and he was smacked.
Billy Bates. He's the wild man on the special teams for Dallas. Now the University of Tennessee, he's the captain now of the special teams. He made this team like this, folks. He is reckless. He's one of the most reckless football players to play. Watch him come through this wedge and make the tackle. And he puts his head right in there, I'll tell you. Good hit by Billy Bates. Plays free safety and strong safety for Dallas.
So the Packers now have a chance to move the ball. 1:08 remaining in the first quarter. The ball on the 21-yard line. Lynn Dickey still in at quarterback. Henry Childs now in at tight end. Dickey under pressure, and Dickey is sacked. He's tripped up. In on the play, Don Smerrick.
I was trying to go deep to Lofton down the right sideline. He was double teamed down there. And it just barely got his foot for the sack. Don Smirk, you see right in the middle of the screen.
Well, everybody knows that Lynn Dickey is not the most mobile quarterback in the NFL. You can tee off, you pretty much know where Lynn is going to be. So the offensive line really has to do a good job when they're up against a tough pass rush like the Dallas Cowboys.
Smerrick, 6'7", 255 out of Reno, Nevada.
Loss of 6 on the play. Dickey will put it up once again. This time he has Lofton open for the first down. James Lofton beat Fellows, and Fellows wants to mix it up with Mr. Lofton.
Picked up 18 yards on a little sideline pattern to Lofton. Good pitch by Dickey. He had one of those defensive linemen right in his face, and just a great familiarity with his receiver there. He threw the ball right on rhythm before James Lofton had cut. The ball, when Lofton turned around, was right on the money. Let's see if we can pick up his defensive lineman. Right there, you see that arm go up? And Lofton made the cut, and as soon as he looked up, the ball was right on the money.
The ball's now on the 33-yard line. First down for the Packers. The handoff to Eddie Lee Ivory, and this time Ivory has some running room, but the hole closes quickly as he picks up a couple of yards.
Don Smerick on the tackle again. Pretty active on the inside, Mr. Smerick, number 60.
Paul, Eddie Lee Ivory has come back from 2 major knee operations, and now he's trying to come back from drug addiction. I would imagine the drug addiction is twice as hard as those 2 knee surgeries.
It sure is, and I guess you got to say, you got to wish the kid luck. He's given it 100% so far. This was one of the best running backs ever to come out of college. I remember at Georgia Tech, he gained 363 yards one time. As we'll get into a little bit more of Eddie Lee Ivory on his comeback attempt. As the gun goes off that ends the first quarter, the Packers trail 14-0.
At Nord TV and Video, there's something very special going on. While most Life Movie Clubs cost as much as $100, at Nord TV and Video, you can join our Life Movie Club free, rent movies for as low as $1.99, get every 4th rental free, plus rent new releases for only 1 cent. And you can keep up to 4 movies for 4 days. For the most in video at the lowest prices,
Nord TV and Video Outlet, your super video store.
Personal injury, malpractice, workers' compensation, disability, auto accidents. Do you have a claim? How should your claim be presented? What will maximize your claim? When should you settle? When should you sue? There are many answers, and then there are the answers that are right for you. Free initial consultation. Call DBF, the law firm of Dubin, Balistreri, and Fuchs.
Feel the fever, earthquake, power. Now the real thing comes to Wisconsin, not that other thing.
But the Firestone U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Summer Championship.
Saturday evening, August 11th.
And Sunday afternoon, August 12th.
See Pajaski, the national champion, take on the rest of the world.
Including Tennessee Thunder,
the Green Monster,
Warlord,
Chi-Town Shaker,
Motown Express,
Bob Chandler's Bigfoot.
All the kings are coming.
So far, it's been a rather inauspicious beginning for Forrest Gregg as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, down 14-0. 2nd down, 8 yards to go for the Packers. Dickey on a quick play. Lofton with a great catch. James Lofton, a one-handed catch down inside Dallas territory.
But the play was made by Dickey. Dallas was in on all-out blitz. They blitzed the safety man. They're going to bring it back. Watch this. See the safety come and watch this pitch under terrific pressure, and what a catch by Lofton. And they're going to bring it back. Penalty against Green Bay.
Illegal motion, number 33 of the offense, turned upfield too early. It'll be 2nd down.
I guess you heard that. Good explanation. Clark turned upfield too early. Man in motion, and that's going to nullify about a 28-yard pickup.
That was an amazing catch by Lofton. What did your old buddy Max used to say?
It was a real nice soft pass by Lynn Dickey, enabling Lofton just to catch it one-handed like that.
What Max used to say, if you get your hands on it, you should catch it.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
2nd down, 13 to go for the Packers now after the penalty. Dickey with good protection, gets it off to Lofton once again. Lofton trying to cut it up. He'll be short of the 1st down by a good 5 yards. It's interesting. One thing I've noticed so far with the Packer offense this year is Lofton is doing a few more possession-type routes. Last year, they always sent him deep, and J.J. would always be the possession receiver.
Well, you know, it's very tough when you have 2 great receivers on the team, and then you got a kid named Philip Epps playing behind him. And there's 3 great receivers to have on a football team, and it's good. It really is good, especially the type of guy Jefferson is. He doesn't mind. You know, he was a superstar when he arrived here, and of course they've got 2 superstars at flanker now, and Jefferson's just not going to catch that many passes like he used to when you got a guy like Lofton on the other side.
3 receivers in the ball game. Dickey looking and has his man Ron Cassidy, and Cassidy, the valuable veteran with glue for hands, comes up with the 1st down catch.
Picked up 21 yards and a little square out. Lynn Dickey's right on the money. I tell you, Dallas is blitzing a little bit more than normal. They're usually not a blitzing team. I wouldn't believe that they blitzed this much in the preseason, but they're going all out here. This is Cassidy on that little square out pattern, 21 yards. Dickey's right on the money.
Fifth-year veteran from Utah State. His nickname, the Seal Beach Barracuda. Let's ask him about that one sometime. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball now in Dallas territory on the 42-yard line, and Dickey now starting to air it out. Good protection, looking for Phil Epps, and he has Epps. There were 3 men on him.
Beautiful pitch, good timing. He's really got good timing with these receivers. 20-yard pickup, another, just a square out pattern down to the right side. Dickey, you give him time to throw the football, and he'll cut your heart out, I'll tell you. He can throw it as good as anybody in the league when you give him time. 20-yard pickup, and the Packers look like they could be going in to put the first points on the board.
Phil Epps, preseason. Man who played at Texas Christian and who was born in Texas, played his high school football at Atlanta, Texas. I'm sure some of his friends and relatives are at this game tonight. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball now on the 22-yard line. The Packers are driving, and they're doing it through the air. Lynn Dickey dumps it off to James Lofton. Once again, Lofton running a shorter route, trying to find some running room. And James is covered by a sea of Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know if they got any of the sound equipment down there, but I could hear the leather pop all the way up here in the press box. James Lofton, a little short man on that receiver. He looked like he, you would guess he picked up 2, 3, how about 6 on that little catch to Lofton. Lofton's got 3 tonight for 25 yards.
Second down, 4 yards to go. The ball now on the 16-yard line.
Check that, make that 4 now. No, 3 for 28, that's official.
The pitch goes to Mike Mead, and Mike Mead with a blocker, and he ran right over his blocker.
I should have cut back. He had plenty of room to cut back from the inside. He doesn't like it. He knows he made a mistake with the blocking that time. He could have cut back. Billy Bates making the defensive play for Dallas.
This is definitely a different Dallas team from last year. They lost 9 veterans with 82 years worth of NFL playing experience from that 1983 team.
Another way you look at that is you get rid of 9 old guys.
Well, they lost some good ones. Drew Pearson, of course, out because of that car accident. He has a hole in his liver.
He stopped by the booth,
yes.
Joe.
He looks in great shape.
He really looks good. And what a great receiver he was in the freshman.
Third down, 1 yard to go, and Eddie Lee Ivory has the first down for the Packers. Ivory showed a little quickness there.
If he breaks one, you know, let him break one big play running the football. That'll really help, especially when you've had that layoff. You have that self-doubt about your ability. Not that you can do it or not, but it's something that you don't talk about. And until, you know, he has that one good game and he can relax. I had that one off year in 1963, my sabbatical. I wondered all year long whether I would, you know, when I'm coming back, whether I could play again. He didn't want to talk about anything like that, but that thought goes through your mind, and I'm sure Eddie Lee is thinking along those same terms. He's wondering if he can regain the form. You know, the one year he had 800 yards rushing, 500 yards catching the football, and he looked like he's really going to be one of the premier backs in the league. And then, you know, everything went downhill after that. The injuries and the drug addiction. He's got the second chance. He's got to make the most of it himself now. Nobody's fault but his own now.
Lynn Dickey looking. JJ's wide open. Touchdown, Packers. Lynn Dickey with his 7th completion on the night.
John Jefferson's as if to say, I know they got new rules now with this end zone annex, and he hands them the football. I like that. There was he open, and Lynn Dickey giving Dallas a little something what they gave the Packers in the first quarter. A little square out pattern, look right over the linebacker there. Jefferson for the touchdown.
Lynn Dickey has been sacked a couple of times tonight, Paul, but I'll tell you what, that offensive line is really gelling. They're doing a good job holding off that 4-3 defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Eddie Garcia in to kick the extra point, a man who kicked in this same stadium when he played his college football for SMU. A little trouble getting the ball down. There's a flag on the play.
A good move by Bucky Scribner to get that football down. Flag down. Kick was good, but it was against Dallas. They will take the penalty on the kickoff.
On the defense, score is good. 5 yards on the kickoff.
12 men on the defense.
Well, that'll happen during the preseason. But the Packers score for the first time in the 1984 season. The Cowboys lead it 14-7. We're back in a minute.
Feel the fever, earthquake, power. Now the real thing comes to Wisconsin, not that other thing.
But the Firestone U.S. Hot Rod Truck and Tractor Pull Summer Championship.
Saturday evening, August 11th.
And Sunday afternoon, August 12th.
See Bajaski, the national champion, take on the rest of the world.
Including Tennessee Thunder.
The Green Monster.
Warlord.
Chi-Town Shaker.
Motown Express.
Bob Chandler's Bigfoot.
All the kings are coming.
One of the new owners of Eastern Airlines.
One of my jobs is to make sure you have a nice, smooth ride. We at Eastern feel the atmosphere on the ground should be calm, too, especially when you're changing planes, so we fly into Kansas City instead of some big airport. You bypass all the turbulence, the crowds, the traffic, the long hikes. On my airline, we'll make sure your trip on the ground is as smooth as it is in the air.
Fly the only daily nonstop to Kansas City and connect to 12 western cities. At Eastern, we earn our wings every day.
So the Packer offense shows the form of last year. 10 plays and 79 yards on that drive. Of course, last year, the record year in which they scored 429 points, a club record. A good offensive drive by the Packers, Paul.
Beautiful, 79 yards. Dickey doing what he does best, a controlled type of passing. A lot of good timing patterns along the sideline, something very, very tough to defend, especially when you get them back there man-to-man, and those quick receivers just eat you alive.
Eddie Garcia with a good kick.
Beautiful
all
kick.
the way back at least 6-7 yards deep, and the Cowboys will not run it out. When Garcia played his high school football down here in Dallas, he went by the nickname Thunderfoot.
I tell you, that's a great plus for a kicker. There's not too many kickers in this league when you're kicking off from the 35-yard line. Will put the ball into the end zone unreturnable. And if you get a guy who is a good field goal kicker who can also kick them deep into the end zone, that's just an added plus.
Of course, Paul, Jan Stenerud no longer with the team.
That's right. And, of course, one of the great kickers of all time. And I think Forrest made a decision there. You know, last couple of years, it's been a hard decision to make between the two. They kept them both around. He came right in, made his decision, and traded him away. Like Forrest will make up his mind in a hurry, won't he?
He sure will. Ron Springs with the ball, and Springs has some hard-fought yards up the middle.
Who'd the Packers get for it, Stenerud? He got a draft choice, but they didn't say which one, did they?
It's going to be a middle-round draft choice. It's one of the things, sure. If Jan Stenerud goes in there and makes the team, I'm sure it's going to be a better draft choice than if they cut him. But I don't think Jan Stenerud will be cut by the Minnesota Vikings. Handoff up the middle, Tony Dorsett, and Dorsett picks up some yardage. Or we have a new man in the backfield now, Timmy Newsome. Timmy Newsome, number 30. As I mentioned earlier, Timmy Newsome and Ron Springs are in a battle.
There's been a Newsome in this backfield ever since, I think, the inception of this football team. Robert Newsome, of course, retired this year. He's no longer with the team after at least 13 or 14 years. I look for his name to go up. Robert Newhouse.
Third down, 1 yard to go. Heavy pressure, and it's the first sack of the year for the Green Bay Packers. Cliff Lewis, the man fighting for a backup position on the Packers roster once again, comes in with the sack on third down, and we'll have our first punting situation. I should say our second punting situation for the Dallas Cowboys.
And here's Danny White, and to his left, number 56 gets away from a block by a guard there. Cliff Lewis gets the sack on Danny White.
Cliff Lewis, of course, a standout on the special teams last year. He started one game when Mike Douglas was suspended and had a very good game. So Cliff Lewis, a valuable utility man for the Packers. Jim Miller, the barefooted punter, is in. I'd like to see him try that up in Green Bay in December sometime. Phillips, and he is green. A flag was down, but Phillips was leveled by Jeff Rohrer, the linebacker.
The ball's kicked that high. You got to make that fair catch. was not returnable. What a good tackle by the Cowboys special teams. And Epps has got it, though. A 36-yard punt. Packers should have it in good field position.
We're back in a minute. 14-7.
Race after race, lap after lap. Bobby Allison's car kept on running to the National Stock Car Championship and a record for laps completed. He used the same Quaker State motor oil you can buy right off the shelf, refined from 100% Pennsylvania-grade crude.
I don't know if I'd have finished 98% of the laps without Quaker State's 100% Penn-grade protection.
Quaker State, now in easy-to-pour plastic bottles. Today you need an oil this good.
Back to school time is here, and you'll find great savings for everyone at Mills Fleet Farm. Like Lee jeans for the entire family. Men's 14-ounce 100% cotton jeans are just $13.99, and Lee backpacks are only 99 cents. You'll find great savings on Murray bikes, too, just $69.95 for this 20-inch BMX bicycle. And for great-looking hair, Mills Fleet Farm has the chic 1,200-watt compact dryer, just $349 after rebate. You'll find these values and more during our back-to-school savings sale on now at Mills Fleet Farm.
10 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the first half. The Packers trailing 14-7. We'll take a look at that hit by Jeff Rohrer on Phil Epps.
Here comes Jeff Rohrer right through there, and he really puts the poppers right on him. Real good tackle by Rohrer, and Phil Epps, he'll make that fair catch when the ball's kicked that high and short. It was only a 36-yard punt. Packers got it at the 40.
Phil only goes 155 pounds. Jesse Clark breaking his way up the middle. And every time I watch Jesse Clark run, he kind of reminds me of a guy who used to run for the Packers, John Brockington. Doesn't he remind you of John at all?
He does. He's got that, keeps those legs churning very, very hard. And he's kind of high stepper for his size. Brockington, of course, had that high running style.
A pickup of 6 yards on the play for Jesse Clark as he's relieved in the backfield by Mike Mead. Harlan Huckleby also in the backfield now for the Packers. And that's Huckleby with the ball, and Huckleby is out past the midfield stripe, very close to the first down.
It'll be a little short.
The veteran from Michigan. He does so well on the special teams and is very valuable to the Packers in a number of ways. Spot player. Also in the game now for Green Bay as they start to move in their second offensive unit. Ed West, the free agent tight end from Auburn, in a battle for that number 3 position at the tight end spot. The ball just inside Dallas territory, third down, very short. The handoff to Huckleby, and Huckleby has the first down for the Packers. The offense seems to be moving now after starting off rather slowly. Harlan Huckleby last year, 182 yards on 50 carries, 4 touchdowns, 3.6 average for the 5-year veteran from Michigan. And boy, was he a running back at Michigan, the 4th leading rusher in Wolverine history. First down, 10 yards to go, the ball on the 48. Lynn Dickey still in at quarterback for the Packers, and he'll pass. Good protection once again. Dickey looking for Lofton. It's picked off. No! Almost intercepted by Ron Fellows, and Dickey. Lofton caught the ball.
I tell you, Ron Fellows had the interception, coughed it up, and right there was James Lofton, and he got it back, but he was out of bounds. Oh, what a reception that would have been. It was really good coverage by Fellows. He timed this perfectly. Little corner pattern on the outside again. And watch Fellows now. He comes back with it now.
I think Lofton was in.
He had 1 foot in. He didn't have both feet inbounds and down. The right foot was down, but I think it was a pretty good call. You got to have both feet right on the play. NFL.
Second down, 10 yards to go. 8:30 remaining in the first half. The Cowboys leading by 7. Dickey once again out to Lofton. Lofton shows his great hands, and once again they're going to rule that he was out of bounds. Ron Fellows right in.
I tell you, one of them was going to rule it was inbounds, and the other one ruled it was out of bounds right there. They didn't get together on that call, I'll tell you that. One of them overruled that right on the scene. Both of them were right there. Now you watch the 41, he rules it a catch. There's a quick turnout over here, a little square out pattern. You know, you see a referee come up from the right of the screen up, you can run it on, we'd see it, but he came up and he ruled it a catch, and the other guy ruled he was out of bounds.
Lynn Dickey, 7 out of 11 for 112 yards and 1 touchdown so far in the first half. He's looked sharp. Great protection for Dickey, looking over the middle for J.J. J.J. has it. The ball's popped loose.
Fumble.
And the Packers jump on it.
They got it. Boy, was he hit. He made a good catch. I think he was popped.
Jesse Clark with the fumble recovery for the Packers.
Dexter Clinksdale was right there. He might have made the pop on Jefferson. It was a good catch. He was extended, Joe, doing the post pattern over in the middle, and Dickey right there on the money. Watch this. Good pass protection again. Now, what he really extended with it. He's got to hold the football, and this was a fumble. Dexter Clinksdale on the hit. And the ever alert Packers, there's 3 or 4 of them right on the football. Who was that recovered? I didn't see the
Jesse
number.
Clark.
Jesse Clark.
Harlan Huckleby as we come back to live action, and he's stopped short of the line of scrimmage. He'll lose 1, possibly 2 on the play. You know, we saw John Jefferson catch that pass. J.J. went to high school in Dallas at Roosevelt High School. His senior year, or I should say in his career at Roosevelt High School, 161 receptions for 4,000 yards and 41 touchdowns.
No receiver does that in high school, do they?
Apparently they do it in Texas. Second down, 9 yards to go. I guess it was a pickup of 1 for Harlan Huckleby. Dickey looking over the middle, has his man Paul Kaufman. The first time he's hit Kaufman this evening. Kaufman will be short of the first down.
About a yard short. Picked up about 8 yards on the pitch to Kaufman. Dickey now 9 out of 13 for 144 yards here in the first half, and he has looked slick.
He really has, and I think the offensive line has really helped him out. They've been giving him a lot of time. He's been sacked a couple of times, but the offensive line as a whole is doing a great job.
He's thrown some very good timing passes to the sideline, Joe. Those tough 25-yard sideline patterns, he's been right on the money.
They needed 2 yards, and Jesse Clark got 2 plus 2.
He does run hard, doesn't he?
I like that guy from the first time I saw him at minicamp.
6 foot tall, 233 pounds.
He is built like a Mack truck. He really is. As a matter of fact, Jesse Clark was the guy who ran over Tim Lewis, and Lewis is out right now with a neck injury. He'll play next week, hopefully, against Chicago. Had a myelogram on his neck, but it proved to be negative, thank God. First down, 10 yards to go. The handoff to Mike Mead, and Mead has a nice hole.
And good hard running, good sustained running, kept those legs churning.
Mike Mead went to Penn State. Played behind Matt Suey of the Bears, Booker Moore. Now plays at Buffalo. Second down, 6 yards to go. 5:20, 5:19 remaining in the first half. And the Cowboys have a chance to tie, or the Packers have a chance to tie it up.
I was going to say, another good drive being put on right now by the Packers. This drive was taken over after a catch by Philip Epps at the 40-yard line, and they've taken it right down, threatening to tie this ball game up.
Dickey over the middle, touchdown, J.J., and they'll call it a touchdown. He had possession, lost it right after he was hit, but J.J. has the touchdown for the Packers.
No, wait a minute, hold on. I think they ruled it incomplete. It should have been ruled a touchdown. He had definitely broken the plane with the ball. He was hit, but it already had broken the plane. You catch the ball in the end zone, you hold it for any length of time, it's a touchdown.
Well, the one official did rule a touchdown.
Ruled incomplete. It's going to be ruled incomplete.
Well,
got a little home cooking there, that's all.
Yeah. I was watching the official in the end zone, number 41, and he had his hands up.
And Forrest doesn't like it at all. Bob Schnelker standing right alongside. Let's take another look. Little quick pitch over the middle. J.J. really should have held on. Now, he's got the football here. And he coughs it up. Now, he's already 2 yards into the end zone, and they'll usually rule that a touchdown. Although, when you run it in slow motion, it looks like you got the football a lot more. Sometimes we're going to run that back in full speed, and you get the actual look at it the way it actually is run. Sometimes slow motion doesn't give you a good pitch.
They go back to J.J. once again on 3rd and 6, and it's just past his outstretched hand. And that will bring in the field goal unit. So instead of 6, they're going to have to opt for 3.
You know what I mean on something like that? Slow motion will not give you the actual good picture that a regular replay will, because it's slowed up and you're trying to decide whether he had possession of the football long enough. Naturally, if they run it regular time, it wouldn't give you that same perspective.
Eddie Garcia now in to attempt the field goal. And this is like coming home for Eddie Garcia. They'll put the ball down on the 14-yard line, make it a 24-yard field goal attempt.
Just like an extra point here.
Yes, it is. The third-year man from SMU puts it up.
I missed it.
And he missed it.
You're kidding.
Well, that's a tough start for Eddie Garcia as the #1 kicker for the Green Bay Packers. The Packers come up with nothing. The Cowboys lead 14-7 with 4:50 left in the half.
Compare Toyota for quality, value, and price. This Toyota Camry costs less than Honda Accord, $600 less than Datsun Stanza, with more room than either of them. Toyota Corolla, redesigned for '84 with a choice of front or rear-wheel drive. Not Chevy Cavalier, not Dodge Omni, not Plymouth Horizon, not Ford Escort. Compare quality, value, and price. It's Toyota, not the other guys.
Michelin. Traction, handling, high mileage, retreadability, and fuel savings. Pumps can show you the Michelin fuel consumption tests and show you how Michelin radial truck tires help you save in the long run. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Our new location now offers you expanded services.
Pumps, the 24-hour tire professionals.
And that was a tough break for the Green Bay Packers. They drove the ball all the way down inside the 10-yard line, and they came out empty-handed. They could have had 6. They for certain should have had 3, and they missed that. They trailed by 7 points, Paul. Danny White on play action, and that pass was underthrown, possibly batted down or tipped.
It was a poor pass by Danny White, and here come the Bluebirds. It's intended for Kirk Phillips on a little square out pattern. He was wide open. Just a poor pass.
The Packers are starting to substitute on defense. Second team defensive unit in now. We get a chance to look at John Dorsey. Take a look at number 97, inside linebacker, Paul, and tell me what you think of his play. He's been pretty impressive. 4th-round draft choice out of Connecticut. Second down, 10 yards to go for Danny White. The handoff inside to Timmy Newsome, and the second defensive team swarms all over Timmy. Or that was Ron Springs with the ball. No, it was Newsome. 20 and 30. I can't tell them apart from way up here. Charlie Johnson now coming into the ball game for the Packers.
Dorsey got a reputation as a hitter already.
Oh, yeah. Gary Hogeboom standing on the sideline for the Dallas Cowboys. He will play in the second half. You watch Dorsey. This guy likes to hit people. He even hits them when it's a non-contact drill. Some of the veterans don't like that too much. Third down, 11 yards to go, and we'll see Danny White in the shotgun formation. And Danny White swings it out. Great defensive play. M.L. Thompson, a rookie free agent, trying to make this team with a great defensive play.
Absolutely. Just got over on that little corner pattern over there. And now I noticed Mr. Thompson, when he came off the field, realizing he might have had a shot at an interception there, but it was a good defensive play in deflecting the ball for the incompletion.
Some pretty heavy competition in that defensive secondary this year for the Packers. Actually, every spot in the defense. When you finish 28th out of 28 teams, everybody's job's on the line. Phil Epps is back deep to receive the punt by Jim Miller. And it looks like the Packers have the return on.
Well,
nice high spiraling punt. Epps at the 30. He'll take it up the middle. Up past the 40-yard line, and Phil Epps is showing a little courage for a guy 155 pounds.
Good punt, 50-yard punt from the line of scrimmage.
14-7, the Cowboys lead. We're back in a minute.
At $698, $598, or $498, you'd get a good buy on a sofa sleeper. You'd get an even better buy if a sofa sleeper at those prices included a matching love seat. Well, during our expansion event at Calder's Furniture this week, you'll get the best sofa sleeper buy. This week, sofa sleepers at $698, $598, or $498 include a matching love seat and your choice of a recliner or 3 living room tables this week only at Calder's Furniture, West Dallas.
At Nord TV and Video, there's something very special going on. While most Life movie clubs cost as much as $100, at Nord TV and Video, you can join our Life Movie Club free, rent movies for as low as $1.99, get every 4th rental free, plus rent new releases for only 1 cent. And you can keep up to 4 movies for 4 days. For the most in video at the lowest prices,
Nord TV and Video Outlet, your super video store.
Number 16, Randy Wright, the rookie quarterback out of the University of Wisconsin, will see his first action as a Green Bay Packer in Texas Stadium tonight. Born in Austin, Texas, always a Cowboy fan until he went to the University of Wisconsin. Became a Packer fan, and now he's a Green Bay Packer quarterback. Pitch back to Harlan Huckabee, and Huck's got some running room. Picks up good 5 yards.
Smallest crowd I've seen in Texas Stadium ever that I can remember. Of course, they've got pretty good competition tonight on the tube with the Olympics, but these Cowboy fans usually turn out pretty good, but sophisticated as they are, I guess, a lot of them have stayed away.
Lynn Dickey ended the night 9 out of 15 for 144 yards and 1 touchdown, and he was sacked twice. I think that'll be the last we see of Lynn Dickey. Randy Wright expected to play at least 2 quarters. 2nd down, 5 yards to go for the Wisconsin rookie. And what a career he had for the Badgers. And this is the first pass as a professional for Randy Wright. Under heavy pressure has James Lofton. And Lofton has dropped his 2nd pass of the night.
Might be defensive pass interference back here. Bump and run downfield. Let's check it out. Right, good pitch that time to Lofton. Got it off, put it right there. Lofton should have caught the football.
You were right, Paul. Defensive holding.
Yep, they hit him before he went downfield. You see Jefferson, he's going in motion right. They got man-to-man back here, right under pressure. Their big lineman had his hand right in his face, and he did well to get the football right there.
Defense, first down.
27 on a bump and run was caught for holding against Lofton. So it's defensive interference against Lofton going downfield on that young man right there. That's Ron Fellows.
So Randy Wright's first pass was right on the money.
Absolutely, and he had that big defensive tackle's hands right in his face.
Bob Schnelker had Randy Wright rated the number 2 quarterback in the draft behind Boomer Esiason of Maryland. The Packers picked him up in the 6th round. They felt he was too good to pass up at that point. Wright back to pass once again, swings it out, and has his man. That's Mike Mead. Mead will pick up a couple of yards.
Nice little touch out there. Lofton downfield blocking. Through his body at one of the defensive backs down there. There's an all-pro receiver doing that. I like to see that. We talked good hustle.
We talked a little bit before, Paul, about the decisiveness of Forrest Gregg. Well, before the first preseason game, he makes Randy Wright the number 2 quarterback ahead of David Whitehurst, who was number 2 last year, and Rich Campbell.
You see that guy in a blue shirt right there for the Cowboys?
Yes, I do.
Might be the strongest man ever play this game. Ernie Staunton. Perennial All-Pro with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been here with Landry all these years. He was something.
2:50 remaining in the first half, and Randy Wright has the Packers moving out to J.J.
A beautiful pitch right to J.J. and a good move by J.J. He was covered by Ron Fellows. Just took an excellent throw to get that first down.
Sounds like you like Randy Wright's arm.
I tell you, he looked pretty good here. This is the toughest pitch for a youngster. Back to his left, the sideline. Good catch by Jefferson for the first down. The ball's at the 36.
Last year, the Wisconsin Badgers averaged 31.2 points a game, with Randy Wright leading the way. He led the Badgers to 12 Big Ten offensive records last year. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball on the 36. 2:44 remaining now. Play action out to James Lofton with a blocker ahead. And Lofton cuts it to the outside. Taken out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
Shows a lot of cool for a young man. Just steps right in there, and Wright looks good. I'll tell you one thing, he's going to throw a little doubt into this quarterback situation. You got Rich Campbell, David Whitehurst. They've been at it for 3 or 4 years that I can remember, and now you got this young man coming on. They are not going to keep 4 quarterbacks.
You know that.
Absolutely.
Randy Wright has been very impressive in camp so far. In the scrimmages, he has simply outplayed David Whitehurst and Rich Campbell. Second down, 2 yards to go, the ball on the 28-yard line. And Wright with the draw play to Harlan Huckleby, and Huckleby will have the first down. Maybe a step away from breaking it. Huckleby's now carried the ball 5 times for the Packers. Picked up 9 yards.
So Wright's 3 out of 3 here. Second. We've moved down closer to the 2-minute warning. May get off this play. Maybe not. Got to hurry to get off this play before the 2-minute warning.
They do not. Well, they've got plenty of time with the ball on the 25-yard line. 2 minutes remaining. The Packers are knocking at the door with the Cowboys leading by a touchdown.
It's right, it's good, it's here. Upstairs the place. Upstairs the place. Oh, real taste of beer and all the good times you have here.
If you're looking for a better beer, you're going to look a real long time.
Upstairs the place. Friends all around. Upstairs the place. It's beer in town.
Sure goes down easy.
For the real taste of beer. Upstairs the place.
Now, what'll you have?
You'll have a great time saving money during the Carnival of Values at True Value hardware stores, where you can get Amerglass 2 furnace filters, 3 for $1.77. Stock up on Value Bright 3-way light bulbs, only 86 cents each. Then save on True Test Select Spray Enamel, just $1.28. You'll also find True Test Ammoniated Glass Cleaner for $1.28 in the Carnival of Values circular from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
The Green Bay Packers offense has dominated the second quarter here at Texas Stadium. 11 first downs in the second quarter. The Cowboys have 0. Of course, the Cowboys are leading 14-0. They put those 14 points up on the board in the first quarter. Now Randy Wright is trying to tie it up. The ball's on the 25-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. The man who tossed 17 touchdown passes for the Badgers last year has looked mighty fine here so far. Wright on play action once again. He's got his man open, and that's Mike Mead, and Mead has another 10, 12 yards on the play.
Good move by Mead, getting that extra yardage, got out of bounds, stopped the clock. And a good pitch again by Mr. Wright. He's 4 out of 4 now. It's another first down to the 11-yard line. Let's take another look. Nice release, nice soft pass. He's got his man wide open in the flat, and he puts it right on the money. Nice soft pass to catch. Mead now just fights for that extra 3 or 4 yards, and he's out of bounds at the 11.
He's working against the #1 defense for the Dallas Cowboys, too, as Mike Hegman was on the tackle. The ball's now on the 11-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. Handoff. Big hole. Jesse Clark, touchdown.
Jesse Clark, real good blocking off the left side. Number 78 for the Packers is Gary Hoffman, a tackle from Santa Clara, a rookie. 6'7", 282 pounds, and he got a good block, and Forrest has got to like that, and I'm sure he does. And there we get a good look at it, just right off the left side, a little trap blocking. Clark takes it outside and right into the end zone. And as you said, Joe, there's not too many guys going to arm tackle this guy or take him down man to man. Clark's very strong, got them good strong legs.
They try to arm tackle him. Their arm will be in a sling the following Monday. Eddie Garcia now in to attempt the extra point. Remember, he missed a 24-yard field goal earlier. This time Garcia puts it up and through, and we have a tie ball game. The Cowboys have won the first quarter 14-0, and the Packers are winning the second quarter 14-0. We're tied at 14 from Texas Stadium.
Personal injury.
malpractice, workers' compensation, disability, auto accidents. Do you have a claim? How should your claim be presented? What will maximize your claim? When should you settle? When should you sue? There are many answers, and then there are the answers that are right for you. Free initial consultation. Call DBF, the law firm of Dubin, Balistreri, and Fuchs.
One of the new owners of Eastern Airlines.
One of my jobs is to make sure you have a nice, smooth ride. We at Eastern feel the atmosphere on the ground should be calm, too, especially when you're changing planes, so we fly into Kansas City instead of some big airport. You bypass all the turbulence, the crowds, the traffic, the long hikes. On my airline, we'll make sure your trip on the ground is as smooth as it is in the air.
Fly the only daily nonstop to Kansas City and connect to 12 western cities. At Eastern, we earn our wings every day.
Joe Schmidt and Paul Horning with you from Texas Stadium at Irving, 14-14. Paul, a very impressive drive so far for the Packers, especially with Randy Wright at quarterback.
Sure is. Looking up the stat board here, he's 4 out of 4 for 34 yards. And he takes over in his first offensive possession. He takes him right down, puts 6 points on the board. So Randy Wright, rookie out of Wisconsin, just has been sensational here in the second quarter. He's got a good touch, good strength on the arm. I like the way he threw around a couple of on-rushing defensive linemen.
Squib kick by Eddie Garcia. Having trouble with the ball. The Cowboys are going to be stopped inside the 20-yard line. With the ball for the Cowboys was Ron Springs. Eddie Garcia did his job on that kick. 1 minute 45 seconds remaining for the Cowboys, and we'll see their 2-minute drill. And Danny White will still remain at quarterback. We'll see Gary Hogeboom in the second half. One thing about the Cowboys this year, there seems to be a lot of dissension, especially amongst the players on who they want as their #1 quarterback. The media has really been pumping this situation.
Most of the coaches, they don't even pay any attention to all that, Joe. And they say it's wide open. They're going to give Hogeboom a shot. Preseason will tell the story. But I don't see any difference. I mean, in talent, Danny White's been there all these years, and Hogeboom's been there. What's so different about Hogeboom now? So I think Danny White, when the season starts, is going to be the #1 quarterback.
Hogeboom, they say, has the strongest arm in the NFL. We'll see that arm in the second half. Danny White, the leader of the Cowboys, and he has his man and a first down. With the reception is number 81, Kurt Phillips, a wide receiver. As the Cowboys now move some of their second-team unit onto the offensive side of the ball.
This is where they really miss a guy like Staubach, who was so sensational in the last 2 minutes of a ball game, or the last 2 minutes and a half. He can really move the team. Little
Setting
screen.
up the screen. Newsom with the ball. Newhouse with the ball.
Picked up 8. Going to take a timeout very quickly. Still got 2 left.
Timmy Newsom picked up 7 yards on the play, and they take a timeout. Of course, the big thing for the Cowboys this year is the Randy White holdout. He's been fined over $12,000 for missing camp. The score is tied at 14-14, 1:16 remaining in the first half. We'll take a break and be right back.
It's Steenberg Homes Stock Liquidation 84. Save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on all display or new models and one-of-a-kind closeouts. Just $19 holds your home. Our entire statewide inventory of new homes, plus over 150 used homes, all reduced for this sale. Remember, just $19 holds your home at Steenberg Homes Stock Liquidation 84.
Best buy in the Midwest, Steenberg Homes.
See us at one of these Wisconsin or Upper Michigan locations.
Diet Coke, just for the fun of it. Diet Coke, just for the fun of it. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke, just for the cool of it. Just for the love of it. The real cola taste of it. Diet Coke, just for the joy of it. Just for the just for the taste of it. Coca-Cola, Diet Coke.
1 minute, 16 seconds left in the first half, and the Cowboys are going to try to take the lead into the locker room, and there's all kinds of movement in the interior line.
False start on the center of the offense.
False start on the offense, and they'll move it back 5 yards. The Cowboys have 2 timeouts left. The Packers have 3.
False start, moving the ball without snapping it, number 74 of the offense.
So far here in the first half, it's been the same type of a Packer offense. You've got over 230 yards in offense already, 178 throwing the football for the Packer quarterbacks, and over 57, 58 yards rushing. So it's been a very good offensive display tonight for the Packers, and a good second half on defense. Good second quarter.
Danny White from the shotgun formation. The ball's on the 33-yard line of the Packers, and the ball reception by Mike Tolliver.
Good catch.
Tolliver is a rookie from Central Ohio.
Mike, there's a yellow flag down also. Tolliver made a nice diving catch for the first down, and he was popped pretty hard when he was down, so it's going to be unnecessary roughness. Personal foul.
Roughness, number 20 on the defense. First down.
That's M.L. Thompson, defensive back who had a big play before. This time he kind of came in late on the play, tried to knock the ball loose, and he's punished for a 15-yard penalty. And the timing of that penalty is not very good, with 1 minute 8 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Cowboys driving now into Packer territory. The ball on the 38-yard line. Danny White at quarterback.
And one of the best field goal kickers in the league, sitting on the bench, Septien.
Danny White looking over the middle for Donnelly, and he's covered by Dwayne Osteen. Also covering Darryl Jones, and Jones is down.
And if you wonder why some of these receivers don't like to go over the middle on those post patterns, and they like to hear footsteps sometime, look what happened to Donnelly. And of course, we've got a Packer down also. A great collision down there. Had him double covered on the inside, that deep post pattern. Last 2 minutes, everybody's back there expecting this. Pass is overthrown, and you really get popped pretty good here. Watch Donnelly. And one of the Packers is down also. Darryl Jones got popped in there too.
7th round draft choice out of Georgia, who's been very impressive in camp, as we see Doc Bruschi and Dominic Gentili taking a look at the Packer rookie.
That play has caused more receivers to think about retiring than anything, just like that. And they just hope that the quarterback, when he does throw the football, he doesn't make you extend your body or get you caught in that awkward position where one of those defensive backs just love to take dead aim and really give you a hit in that position.
We haven't seen Alfonso Carricker so far in this ball game. We do see that Donnie Humphrey, the 3rd round draft choice out of Auburn, is now in at a defensive end position. He wears number 79. He's been impressive in camp. He had a few pounds he had to take off, and it looks like he's taken a few off as Darryl Jones comes walking off the field.